Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Joey Galvez, one half of your host of Explain Yourself, and I want to let you guys know about a really cool book from our friend of the show, Eli Shockey. This one is called The Greylock, and it's a story where magic is a commodity. Potions are sold at corner stores. Orcs and dwarves earn a living in cubicles, not on the battlefields. But there are those who resist the house's magic's laws. Branded a criminal and forced to live as a wand for hire, there is a spell slinger they call the Greylock. Check this one out. You guys can pre-order issue 3 right now with code JAN241939, and make sure you guys are heading over to your favorite LCS and letting them know that you want Greylock number 3, and maybe pick up the first 2 issues. You could do that at the Scout web store. So make sure you guys are grabbing the Greylock number 3, JAN241939 at previewsworld.com.
Okay, everybody. I have something really cool to tell you about. If you haven't heard yet about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain here. It's free. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, and more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one single place. Now, the way that you can do this is you got to download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm, and then you can get started. It's really fun. We just switched over recently here at All Too Real 2, and I'm enjoying it so far. So be sure to check it out and let us know what you think. Okay, everybody. Welcome to the latest episode of All Too Real 2.
Wow, that was like right on.
That was harmonious. Today, we are venturing back into the world of direct-to-video sequels, and we are covering the third in a series. First direct-to-video, though, a film called Grand Daddy Daycare. It's loosely connected to the other movies. The film came out in 2019, so it just came out. Directed by Ron Oliver, who also is known for directing Bigger, Fatter, Liar, which we've covered on the show. May or may not have aired yet, but we will be covering it if we haven't yet. He's directed episodes of Degrassi: The Next Generation.
Awesome.
What else has he directed? I think he directed something else we covered too. I'm not sure though. He directed one of the Beethoven direct-to-video sequels. He directed Dennis the Menace Christmas.
Oh, God.
Which we've already covered, but we haven't aired yet. We'll be airing that in December if this comes out before then. I don't know what order we air things in. Just a little behind the scenes. We don't record in order, people. You're welcome. That's Matt's catchphrase.
That's right. It is. I forgot.
You're welcome, people.
That's right. Forgot my own
Yeah.
new catchphrase.
But anyways, so that's who directed this. It was written by Robbie Fox and David H. Steinberg. Okay, so what's the premise of this movie, Matt? What happens?
The dude who plays in Machete, I forgot his name.
Danny Trejo.
Yeah, his character moves in with his daughter and son-in-law. They don't really explain why, at first, and but basically just trying to make the best of it, and he's very critical of his son-in-law because he's a writer. He writes like these kind of like action. Kind of like action spy, not really spy
novels,
something
sort of
like
thing.
that.
It looks like, I don't know, you can't really tell, but
and
that's his son-in-law, Frank Collins, played by Reno Wilson.
yeah. Oops. And then so he's kind of critical of him, like he makes like these comments like, "Oh, when was the last time you released a book? 10 years ago?" And he's like, "Oh no, it was 5 years ago." And he's like, "Close enough," stuff like that. And just like, he's very health conscious, like criticize, saying like, "Oh, you shouldn't eat salt. Salt, retains water and it's bad for your muscles," and all this kind of stuff. And so he hasn't really sold a book or written a book in a while, and his wife's a teacher, so they're having issues like paying the bills and stuff like that. And he gets the idea to do like this daycare thing for the elderly because his father-in-law invites some of his friends. No, sorry, he actually invites
Some of his father-in-law's friends over to play poker or something, and
yeah,
basically one of the daughters of one of the older gentlemen that came over offers to pay money to have him come over every day. So that gives him the idea to create elderly daycare.
yeah, because she gave him like $100, $50, something, I don't know, and then
It was $100 for a day.
jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's like, "Oh, I can get like 15 people here every single day and charge $100, totally illegally, like just no no facility. It's just a house, stuff like that." And because he knew that there was like a foreclosure notice, but he didn't tell his wife.
Yeah.
Is what it was. Is that what happened?
Yeah, basically he had to pay on their mortgage or something, and I guess the house was going to be foreclosed on. So, yeah, basically that.
So high stakes. High stakes. Not just a poker game that they were playing. Before
High stakes aren't like steaks flavored with marijuana, are they?
No,
Oh, okay.
I don't think so.
Oh,
That would be kind of weird.
somebody should do that.
High stakes. God, don't give Trump another business idea. He'll want to get into the legal marijuana business. High stakes in Colorado.
Yeah, his steak business did so well.
Yeah, well, yep. So he starts raking in the dough, and hilarity ensues because he doesn't really know how to do any of this daycare stuff, and he's just kind of just winging it. And there's this kind of funny scene because one of the people there, she's like, "Oh, I've got these things that my son gave me for pain," and it's like these like gummy candies or whatever.
Yeah,
They're
they're obviously edibles.
Yeah, because like it's just like in a Ziploc bag, and it's like okay, and then like so she gives one to everyone, and then of course they go into this whole montage of like really stereotypical like being high conversation, like what if we're just molecules, man, or whatever type of thing.
Like the stereotypical we're high and this is a like college student film high movie sort of thing. Yeah, yeah, and that lady was played by very hilariously actually by Margaret Avery. She was pretty good in it, I thought.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I've seen her in other things. It's been a while. She's been in she was like in The Color Purple and a bunch of different things.
Okay, that's
yeah,
cool.
so yeah, but that was like the biggest one. So yeah, okay, there we go. Yeah. But yeah, no, it's got a good cast though of the old folks in it. I mean, you got Hal Linden, who was Barney Miller You got Barry Bostwick from Spin City and Rocky Horror Picture Show, and from the autograph that he gave me in the movie Home Run Showdown, which I co-star in with him. And by co-star, I mean there's a scene happening with him talking to somebody, and I'm sitting a few rows behind him as an extra. So
it was a very pivotal role, though.
Yes, it was. I played that extra really well.
Yeah.
I was pretending I was watching a baseball game that wasn't happening. And I had to do things like mouth and pretend I was talking to the guy next to me who happened to be my father.
And, like pointing at
pointing at things and pointing at like, oh, somebody just hit a ball, or oh, watch that go. Yeah, it was fun, man. It was lots of fun. And then I got to meet Barry and get his autograph on a popcorn box.
There you go.
I'm the only person that has a autograph of Barry Bostwick on a popcorn box.
See, that's how you do it. You get unique autographs.
Yes.
Not just a piece of paper. Anyone can get an autograph on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
How many people are going to have a popcorn?
And it wasn't
box?
even my popcorn box. It was just one I found on
okay.
It was one I found on the ground.
That's even better.
So, yeah, anyways, Barry Bostwick's in it, Hal Linden, like I said. You got, Danny Trejo, of course. You got Julia Duffy from Newhart, among other things. You've got Garrett Morris from Saturday Night Live. You got George Wendt from Cheers.
Yeah.
There was who else was in this? There's a lot of cool people. James Hong from like Everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like the older Asian dude in like every movie you've ever seen.
Yeah, it's a pretty like
yeah.
Like they kind of went all out here, I think, with this movie.
Linda Gray from Dallas, among other things, who's still looking pretty hot, and she's like in her late 70s, early 80s or something.
Well, 79 probably.
Yeah,
78 or 79.
Yeah, and she's still looking pretty beautiful.
Like I was saying, I thought she might be in her mid 60s.
Yeah, no, she does not look her age. I don't know. Yeah, so it was a good cast, I think, actually. This is one of the better direct-to-video sequels we've actually seen. I mean, by no means is this the greatest movie ever made, but it was decent so far, I think. Yeah. So yeah. What happens after that? Like, they get the people coming in and stuff, and
well, the first problem I guess they run into, for just to kind of keep the story going along, is that there's this guy who he sees all these people coming in the morning, and they're handing medicines and envelopes to I forgot his name already. Frank.
Yeah.
And he works for family, social services or family services. So he's kind of trying to, just sort of snoop around to see, if it's legitimate or not. And his father-in-law used to be an attorney, so he's kind of telling him like, just don't answer that question and stuff like that,
Yeah.
Like, and so you come back with a warrant. He's like, oh well, I will, and I'll bring friends, type of thing. And the second challenge they have for the story is that his father-in-law, he has like the early stages of dementia. Like he goes into like these weird like moments where he doesn't really know like where he is, who anyone
when it is.
And the only thing that can bring him back is someone ask him about like, who's like the dumbest judge you ever had to argue in front of, or whatever. Like Hightower is like the big one. So like that will kind of like snap him back into it. But he had 2 episodes in 1 week. So it's starting to get, kind of starting to progress.
Yeah, it gets scary.
So that's kind of like both a sad thing in general, but also for the movie too. Cause like, oh, this is, not just like some cute little funny idea to do here. Like,
no,
it's like,
this movie's kind of dark.
Like it does. It gets like, there's like later on, like you're saying, like all of a sudden, like got like in this really huge vicious argument. It's like, whoa, like what happened here? Like it was just kind of like just a little bit sudden, like.
Yeah, and we've got a third, like a subplot to this or whatever is of the son of Reno Wilson's character and Roxana Ortega's character, who is his wife, Emma Collins. Their son, played by Anthony Gonzalez, named Jordan. He likes this girl at school. It's like this whole other separate little movie going on that has nothing to do with anything. And he goes to try to talk to this girl, and then he starts signing up on a sheet on the wall that he doesn't know what it is, and then he's signing up for a talent contest. And So basically, he did it so he could spend more time with this Annie girl that he has a crush on. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of like is a completely different movie.
Yeah, because it doesn't really tie in to the
except for like just the father-in-law basically telling Reno Wilson's character of Frank to you got to pay more attention to your kid.
Yeah.
And basically throughout the movie he's ignoring the kid until that point. So
yeah, he's focusing exclusively on the
granddaddy daycare
because he's not even like writing anymore either. Like he kind of gave up on his book a little bit because he was like so focused on making this money and also just kind of making sure it works out because he's kind of got attached to the whole idea of the business and just kind of hanging out with those people too. Yeah, this movie is hard to rag on because it's not really that bad. So it's really not like with like Tooth Fairy 2 or whatever, where there's just absolutely so many horrible things you can point to.
Like I said, it's not the greatest movie ever, but it's not bad either.
Like this is the type of movie I would watch, like quote unquote unironically, even though that's the wrong way of saying it, at like midnight, like on Comedy Central.
Yeah,
and I would actually kind of like pay attention to it as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like one of those movies.
I mean, I never saw Daddy Day Camp. I don't even remember if I saw Daddy Day Care, so I don't know how it compares to those two, so I'm not even really sure.
Yeah,
so.
Me too. So I never saw it.
Do you want to take a quick break here, Matt, and then we'll come back and talk more about the movie?
Sure.
All right, we'll be right back after this.
Hi, folks. This is Michael E. Cullen II from the podcast that you're listening to right now, along with
manager Matthew Haas.
You got promoted?
Yes.
Damn it. Okay, anyways, folks, do you like the show Superstore? Well, I don't know. I asked the folks and nobody's answering me.
Because they're not here.
Oh,
but we love
damn it. Yeah, we love it, though. Okay, folks, if you like it as much as we do, you're really going to like the Super Story podcast, which is a podcast where Matthew and I go episode by episode and give our little opinions and thoughts on it. Sometimes we have guests, sometimes we don't. Just depends on how we're feeling.
Yeah.
And, so if you like this podcast and like our little crazy banter,
then you should definitely check this out. Or I might get sad. And when I get sad, it gets pretty sad.
Yeah,
so
I can't deal with him when he's sad.
Yeah, no one can really. So,
yeah. So check out Super Story Podcast right here where you get this podcast, Super Story Podcast.
Step 1. Dramatic introduction. I am Magus Elgar.
Magus Thadalor Elgar is one of the more respected casters in all of Hearth.
The dragon bone plate in my skull probably needs its focus enchantment line.
Though don't expect to go under his tutelage unscathed.
Well, you know what they say. Pretension can turn intention into the best retention.
Nobody says that.
No, not really.
You can hear Magus Elgar and his exciting adventures. Visit MagusElgar.com to download your copy today.
And we are back. Guess who's back? It's us.
You? Oh, it's us.
Yeah, it's us. Yeah,
yeah. I was wondering if it was the people outside there having a party or whatever.
We had a fun time coming to the studio tonight, which is my apartment. But somebody decided in the apartment complex that they wanted to have a party in the parking lot for no fucking reason whatsoever. I wanted to kill them, and then they kept setting off car alarms and shit. And yeah, and there was like 20 or 30 people just standing outside. Maybe not that many. I don't know.
It was about 15.
Yeah,
it was a lot.
It was like 5,000 people in my parking.
5,000 people in the parking lot,
yes. It was the Toledo tailgate.
Yes.
As I named it.
Yep.
Anyways, because there's nothing better to do than hang out in the parking lot of an apartment complex.
You don't know how to live, Mike. I mean, it's just...
I don't think I've ever done that.
You should try it. It's the best thing ever.
Maybe we should have joined them.
Yeah, I don't think they would want us.
No.
Because
we're strangers.
We're strangers and we're kind of nerdy.
Yeah.
They didn't seem like they were the kind of nerd type to like talk about the Flash and Legends of Tomorrow. Who knows though? Maybe you may have found like
we're stereoteting them now.
We may have actually found like the biggest fan of.
Maybe that's what they were doing. They were just hanging out in the parking lot talking about superhero TV shows and stuff.
Yeah, we could have joined in and had like a grand old time with it.
Yeah.
Then they could have watched granddaddy daycare with us. Then
I don't know if I'd want
podcast.
15 people in my
No,
apartment.
it would be kind of cramped. It would.
Yeah.
But,
That'd have been interesting. Very interesting.
or we could have just let the door open and people could kind of just walk in and out, and then like also like people can leave like plates of food right outside the door if they wanted to without any kind of covering, like
Which
foil.
happens in my apartment complex too.
They could have
This
just.
is a fun place, Matt.
I was actually tempted to like take
Just
that.
steal that food.
If he didn't come back to get it, I mean, it looked pretty good to me. It looked like it was like some kind of Mediterranean meal. I mean, but it might have been spoiled by then because there's literally no tinfoil, no Saran wrap.
And back to the Toledo tailgate. Something I need to mention
What?
is there was a woman just walking around with her baby and her with her 1 or 2 year old child.
I didn't
and her,
see that.
Yeah, she's just like standing around with the kid, and I'm just like, and there's people drinking and stuff there, and I'm just like, put that kid in bed.
Well, she wasn't probably drinking. She probably didn't,
Yeah, but still, don't hang out in a parking lot with your fucking kid. I'm just sorry, it's just pissing me off.
I'm just saying you don't know how.
You're putting the kid in danger. That's all I care
In the
about.
parking lot, I'm not sure, but
Get a bunch of people getting together. Somebody's bound to fight or something, and I'm just saying that. And alcohol's involved, and I'm just saying. And plus, it was after like 10 or something, and they're out there hanging out, and it's just, I'm just saying.
I'm just saying you have to learn to let loose. Just join the party.
I don't know. I don't know if I can hang loose, Matt. I don't think I can.
What happened to your voice? What happened?
I don't know.
Uh-oh.
I got up in this register and I can't get back down.
That's scary. Uh-oh.
Hello.
We have a problem now.
Hi.
Okay.
Now I'm in this voice.
Whoa. He can't find a middle ground. It's like...
So, what has happened in the film, Matthew?
Let's see. The dude from social services comes... that's a lot of S's right there. Social services. Can you hear those S's? Social services. Oh, my God. Freaking lisp here. Anyway, so he comes there with his warrant, I think, and he says, you have to comply with this to get a license in so many days. I don't know. And they try to go get a license, and this was kind of fun because the father-in-law was like, well, what are you going to do with all these people just hanging out in your backyard? So he's like, so he drives all of them in his minivan or whatever. And like, of course, there's a whole joke. So like, can you pull over and stop to go to the bathroom? And he's like, I told you to go to the bathroom before he left. He's like, I did, but I have to go again. And so they go to the place to get a license, and then the woman who works there says, it'll be about 12 to 18 months before it'll get you'll be able to get certified or whatever. So, and they kind of go back and forth a little bit. Like Frank's says, well, we need a license today. And she's like, oh, well, you should have applied 18 or 12 months ago. Then the one dude, he comes back. He's like, hey, where's your bathroom? And she's like, down the hall, whatever. So then they go to like a diner or whatever type of place, and they're just kind of. No, it's funny because they're all like ordering like these really weird things. Like, I'll have the special, but they're like making like they're requesting like special orders. Like, I don't want the rice stuff. I think he meant hash browns. I'm thinking, I don't know, because he said fries instead of the rice stuff. So I'm thinking, I don't know. It's
my favorite one was Barry Bostwick's character who said, can I substitute the steak for chicken because I'm lactose intolerant?
Yeah, that's right. And then the waitress is like, okay. And then I forgot her name, but she was married to the dude who played Norm from Cheers.
Julia Duffy's character.
She's like, I'll have a Rob Roy. And then like the waitress is like, do you want that with cheese? And then she's like, never mind.
It was funny.
Because apparently Rob Roy is a drink. I didn't know this. What is it exactly? What's in it? Do you know?
I don't drink, so I don't know. I just know.
Well, you knew it was a drink. So
I've heard of it being a drink. That's all I know. I don't know beyond that.
Okay.
And I know Rob Roy was like wasn't he like an Irish or Scottish legend or something, or I don't know.
I didn't know, but that would be like really stereotypical if they named a drink after like an Irish.
They probably did.
Well, I didn't realize this though until recently, that there's a phrase called Irish twins.
Oh yeah, it's where you're born less than a year apart.
It's basically like a really racist.
Yeah.
Because it's basically saying like, oh, you know, those Irish, they procreate like crazy, you know, type of thing. Like those Irish Catholics.
Yeah. Oh, Robert Roy McGregor was a Scottish outlaw who later became a folk hero.
Okay.
Yeah, because there was a movie with Liam Neeson that played him.
Oh,
Rob
okay.
Roy. That's what I was thinking of.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah. And the cocktail, Rob Roy is a cocktail consisting primarily of whiskey and vermouth, created in 1894 by a bartender at the Waldorf Astoria.
She likes whiskey. That's my kind of gal.
It's because it's Scottish alcohol, so
Gotcha.
that's why it's named after Rob Roy. Yeah.
That's my kind of gal. I like whiskey. I don't like Scotch though, so it probably has Scotch. I don't like that, but
Isn't Scotch and whiskey related or something?
well, I think
don't know.
Scotch is whiskey.
Yeah.
It's called. I think it says Scotch whiskey. It's like.
Yeah.
I think it just depends on how. I don't really know what makes a difference. If it's brewed like in a different type of barrel or something. I don't really know, but I just know that I've had it once.
It's brewed in a barrel that's held together by Scotch tape.
Yes, that's what. Because they had Scotch tape back like in the 1700s or whatever. They trademarked the name and everything. God, can you imagine how that would taste though? Gross. You ever smell Scotch tape? It's got this really weird.
That's what I had for dinner last night.
You just had Scotch tape for dinner. What? Just microwaved it? Oh, gross.
Yeah, it all melted into a plastic ball.
Put it into some macaroni and cheese. Just disgusting.
I didn't have any noodles, so I thought,
Oh.
hey, the Scotch tape will work. I rolled it into noodle forms, and yeah.
Put cheese over it.
Yes.
God.
Oh boy, that was good.
Yeah.
I can't poop now, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think you're gonna have some problems for a while.
So, the movie.
Oh yeah, the movie. That's right. I forgot we were talking about a movie.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they're at that diner or whatever, and then at one point, Hal Linden's character, who is stuck in stuck on the toilet, he can't stand up, so Reno Wilson has to go in there and he has to help him. So
Yeah, I love that scene because he's like, are you finished? And he's like, yes. And to answer your next question, yes, I wiped. and also too, it's right. His father-in-law had another episode at the diner. They were just kind of talking, and all of a sudden he just like went into like a trance and was like, you know, who are you? And he got him to talk about Judge Hightower again or some other judge to kind of snap him out of it.
yeah,
Which is kind of cool because that probably means it's like the very, very early stage of dementia where they could probably actually work on it a little bit, where you can snap someone out of it by kind of triggering like another memory from the past to kind of, you know, focus on that type of thing. Because like, you know, like with my aunt and stuff like that, I was, you know, pretty much far along to the point of like there was no...
I remember my grandma when I was a kid before she passed away, where she would think that different people in the family were different people and stuff. It was kind of...
It was sad, yeah.
Didn't know who I was for a little bit there. It was scary.
Yeah.
Anyways, but the...
motorcycle.
There's a motorcycle going by, folks.
It's not the party. Maybe he's showing up to the party.
There's a party over here. There's a party over there. There's a party everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was. I just made that up. I don't know. That's my party song. I pretend that, you know, all parties, that's the type of music they play.
What, there's a party over here?
There's a party over here. There's a party over there. There's a party everywhere. That's how parties are, right?
Mm,
And
kind of.
Then there's clowns, like in the movie.
That's right. There's clowns in this movie too.
Yeah. All parties have clowns.
Well,
Of some form.
some form of.
Yeah. So in this movie, they end up having to go to court, and conveniently, the father-in-law's a lawyer. So, but same thing as the court day. They have to try to get one of the characters, the Linda Gray's character, has been put into a nursing home, and they want to like break her out, you know. Escape from Alcatraz style or something. Yeah.
Yeah, Blanche.
Yeah.
Her stepdaughter is like vicious and just wants to get rid of her so that she can get a bunch of inheritance money from her dad, I guess.
Yeah,
her
from the
biological father or something.
Yeah, from the widow, the dead husband of. What was that, Matt? What was that?
That was kind of cool. I like that.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Anyways,
What?
So yeah, but they have to they basically do this whole like plan, and they all go dressed as clowns to the nursing home to break her out the same day as the court date. So they have to try to get done with that and then get Danny Trejo's character back to the courtroom so he can argue the case. Mm-hmm. So hilarity ensues there. Was it hilarity?
It was all right. It wasn't that funny. It was okay.
Yeah.
It was like, just a cool heist.
Mm-hmm.
Get her out of there, because it was like apparently like supposed to be one of the worst nursing homes like there is. Like it's just bad. Like there's really nothing to do and stuff like that. And they break her out, right?
Yes.
And then what happens? Do they go to the court date?
Yes,
court hearing or whatever?
They go to the court hearing.
By the way, this courthouse does not even look like a courthouse at all.
It looked like they just set up in the like lobby of a like building or something, and then just said, "Hey, let's put a judge's, thing up there and thing with a judge's."
Yeah, judge's thing. One of those things.
What's wrong with me,
Nothing.
Matt?
A judge's thing, like they had a brick wall in the background.
A judge's bench. A bench.
There
That's what I was going for.
They had a brick wall in the back, and then there's stairs. Like I'm like, okay, is this like a gymnasium that they just set
It looks
up?
like it.
And by the way, like you were saying, the guy who played the judge
was Clint Howard.
Yeah,
who everybody knows.
And who is he? Who is he relation to?
He is Ron Howard's brother.
Yeah.
Anyways, earlier on in the movie too, though, the way that they were able to keep the place open for a little bit was because they were able to get a unused license from the daddy daycare from the other movies, with a third guy now playing the Charlie Hilton or Hinton character that Eddie Murphy played in the first movie, and now it's
he looks nothing like him.
He's an African American gentleman.
That's it. That's the only
with facial hair, and that's about the only things they have in common.
He probably weighs about 100 pounds more than Eddie Murphy.
But he does look like maybe Eddie Murphy just gained some weight.
Maybe that's true.
And I think he looks more like Eddie Murphy than Cuba Gooding Jr. did.
Yeah, that's true.
So
yeah, that's true.
I don't know.
Yeah, the guy who played him, by the way, he was I don't know him from much, but he played the bartender in Forgetting Sarah Marshall. If you remember that movie, like in Hawaii, he was like the kind of just sort of sarcastic bartender that could memorize all the names of all the different fish.
And the actor's name is Devon McDonald.
Yeah.
Yes.
He was really funny in that movie. Mm-hmm. In this movie, he was kind of funny too. He only had one scene, but it was still pretty funny because he basically he started off with $100,000, and then he went down to, okay, you can give me $50,000 now, and then $50,000 later, and then the father-in-law is like, I have $2,000, and the guy's like, yes, and he's like yes, I'll allow that. He went from $100,000 to $2,000 in like 30 seconds.
And so they could save their house and everything. They end up doing this court thing, and they finally get to the courtroom after all the clown hilarity ensued, and they got Blanche out of the Shady Acres or whatever
I forgot I think it was called Shady Acres. Yeah.
At least they didn't
shady.
At least they didn't go with Shady Pines, which was like the one that they talk about in Golden Girls all the time. So,
oh wow.
Yeah. So
maybe they did that kind of on purpose a little bit, sort of.
Anyways, so they. Guess what happens, though?
Oh, you called this, too, before it happened. You want me to say it, or are you going to say it?
You go ahead.
He had another episode right before he was going to argue the case.
Yes.
Like, right as he stood up and was about to get into a speech, he just apparently just forgot everything. Then, of course, he had to go back to talk about Hightower to get him
and
back.
then he got back, and then he argues the case, and guess what happens then?
And then the judge approves and gives them 90 days to get their stuff in order.
Get their shit in order, and, up to code.
And then it's revealed that the judge knows him because he says, it's good to see you on this side of the court.
Of the bench.
Whatever.
Yeah. So, that was... Then they end up having a little party.
Mm-hmm.
And, the little girl Annie comes to the party, too, and she basically tells the kid that she wanted to hang out with him anyways, even if he sucked. Oh, yeah, he had auditioned for the thing earlier. I forgot to mention that. And he sucked at one point. He was singing Don't You Forget About Me. And he was actually doing a decent job up until the point where his voice cracked. So when he was trying to go for like a falsetto high note,
and then he kind of lost it after that. But he was actually doing all right.
Yeah,
so I don't know.
But anyway, she says, "Oh, I would have hung out with you anyways," and and then they share a chip.
That's right, nice little chip.
Yes, it looked like a barbecue one, I think. Might have been a Lay's. I don't know. Yeah. Anyways, it wasn't a Pringle.
No.
Anyways,
analyzing the chips.
Yes,
it's one of the more finer points of the film. You gotta.
That's the next podcast we have. It's called All Two Analyzing the Chips. It's kind of a long name.
All Two Analyzing the Chips.
We just analyze potato chips in movies. Sometimes we do tortilla chips.
Yeah.
In very special episodes. Around Cinco de Mayo or something. Anyways,
wow,
that was racist. Anyways,
wow.
So, and once in a while we'll get into like chocolate chips.
Yeah.
For our dessert episodes.
Yes. Two desserts.
And then sometimes we talk about like microchips.
Microchips.
Those are our small episodes.
Yeah. Literally. Wow.
So, anyways, the Reno Wilson's character decides that he wants to get back to writing, and he's decided that he's done writing about his character named Jack Quartermain. Probably like a play on Alan Quartermain, which is the Lost City of Gold and all that.
Right.
Yeah. And either that or he's a big fan of General Hospital, and there's an Alan Quartermain on there too, but it's spelled differently. And one's like E-N and one's A-N on the Alan. So but anywho, he ends up writing a book called The Shady Acres. What was it? The Shady Acres something.
Oh, shoot! The Shady
Acres.
Escape? I don't remember now.
No, it began with an S. It was like the Shady Acres Shakedown or something.
Yeah, I think it was called the Shakedown.
Yeah, and it was about the time that they got Blanche out of the Shady Acres.
Yeah. And it's fictional. And by the way, the guy has a machete.
At the end, Danny Trejo has a machete. Yeah,
because I think he tries to bring a machete in almost everything he's in. It's like
I'm pretty sure it's in his contract.
Is it?
No, I'm joking. No,
I've seen like a bunch of stuff where he like at some point he's got.
I like him on he's been on Brooklyn Nine-Nine a few times.
Yeah.
He plays Rosa Diaz's dad on there.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
and he I don't think he's had a machete on there yet, but he's pretty cool on there. He was a good casting as her dad because of the whole stoic attitude of Rosa on there. Mm-hmm. Anyways, do you want to take another break here, Matt, and then we can read some reviews of the movie after that?
Sure.
Okay, we'll be right back, folks.
Was A Quiet Place inspired by Signs, It Comes at Night, and War for the Planet of the Apes? Was Ready Player One influenced by Avatar, Wreck-It Ralph, and The Last Starfighter? Is The Hurricane Heist more influenced by Sharknado or Geostorm? These are the kinds of questions my guest co-hosts and I discuss on my podcast, Piecing It Together. Every week, we look at a new movie and try to figure out what other movies inspired it. Whether it's the story, the character development, tone, or even use of music. Every movie was influenced by something that came before it, and we want to figure out what. Check out Piecing It Together on your favorite podcast app or check us out on piecingpod.com. You can also follow us on social media at piecingpod. piecing it together as a part of the All Points West podcast network.
Hey, folks, this is Michael E. Cullen II from the podcast that you're listening to right now, along with
Matthew Haas.
We just wanted to tell you about our great podcast called Super. It's called All Too Real. And on that show, what do we do, Matt?
We watch biopics, and then we talk about whether or not the movie matched up with the real story or not.
So it
was a lot more exciting than that, though.
Yeah, so we analyze the real story and the real story.
Get it?
Get it?
Real.
You know? Yeah, they're spelled differently,
Yeah.
folks. You can guess which one I said which way. Anyways, so sometimes we have guests, sometimes we don't. But we talk about great movies like Shattered Glass and The Social Network and Futile and Stupid Gesture, among others. Those are some of the ones that we've covered so far, and we're going to cover a lot more. So please subscribe on Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you find your great, fun podcasts. And be sure to share it with your friends.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
And make sure you're not afraid to get all too real. Bye-bye.
And we are back. Okay, anyways, so review time, people. These are some reviews that I've culled from the annals of the Internet Movie Database. Anyways, so here's a 1 out of 10 star review here.
What?
Yeah.
Come on.
Terrible is what Preston Heel says. This is from May of this year, of 2019. Okay, as far as comedy goes, blah. For real, this isn't a comedy, not even much of a movie. It's like the worst. I think spoiler is the movie has no comedy, so be prepared. It's even that funny at all.
Okay, Preston.
That made no sense, and there was no punctuation in that.
Well, that proves that he doesn't know anything.
Yeah.
He thinks he's some good commentator. Doesn't even know how to. It it's like not even like a comedy. Like you fucking idiot. Sorry. Wow. Really? Like how many funny lines? I mean, there was like so many like cool like quips and stuff like that. I mean, was he not even paying attention?
Probably not. Here's another 1 star review by Spontaneous Bustian. I don't know. I can't remember. Okay. This was just written in July of 2019. Straight to DVD retired no work actors. While I doubt these actors could do a great job with a good script, story, etc., it's very telling that the absolute A-lister top of the bill person for this movie is washed up Danny Trejo. He's not washed up, you fucker. Anyways, bad writing, bad plot, bad jokes, bad effects. What few there are. Effects.
Well, they're not supposed to be effects.
Yeah, there really weren't any of that.
It's not that kind of a movie.
We couldn't even finish the movie. I want my dollar back.
Your dollar, really?
Yeah, I probably got it out of Redbox or something. Okay, so, yeah, there's not really great reviews on this. Here's a 4 out of 10 by, No God, No Masters.
Okay.
That's
a anarchist saying. Okay.
Okay. That's the person's screen name. It's a 4 out of 10. It says, Let in the Clowns. Warning, spoilers. Okay. Frank Reno Wilson is a writer with writer's block. His family takes in his aging father-in-law, Eduardo Danny Trejo. Eduardo is a former lawyer, ex-con, and has periods of forgetfulness. Circumstances lead to Frank opening up a unlicensed daycare for seniors. This gets him in legal trouble. The film consists of a lot of past careers of people I thought should have had better gigs for their talents. There was a lot of silly slapstick. The humor wasn't great, but some might find it acceptable. Guide: no swearing, sex, or nudity. Warning: polka music.
Okay. You need a warning for that?
Yeah, their review was basically just giving you a, I don't know, recap of the movie.
So it's not even a review.
Yeah.
It's just a synopsis. Okay.
This next one I am not reading, but I'll read the headline. It just says offensively ageist and offensively unfunny.
It's not ageist.
Yeah.
Okay.
This one is a 10 out of 10. And I'm going to read it just because I think it's a joke. 10 out of 10. I love Eddie Murphy. This is from Witty10398, this person's name. Okay. 10 out of 10. I love Eddie Murphy. My friend Eddie was amazing with a capital A. I just couldn't stop laughing. This is probably the funniest movie I've seen since Daddy Day Camp. 8 out of 10. But then it says 10 out of 10 up at the top.
Okay. Yeah, it's probably just a joke.
Yeah, I was going to say he's not in the movie. So, yeah, there's not really any great... here's a 7 out of 10. This is the best review we got here. This is from Chev's Rule A. Chev's underscore...
You get it? Chev's Rule A. Get it?
Oh, so they like Chevys?
I guess so.
I don't know. Maybe they're a big fan of Chevy Chase.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe it's Chev's Rule A. It's a Canadian fan of Chevy
Yeah,
Chase.
yeah.
That's what I'm going with. Okay, anyways. It says, enjoyable. I liked it. I mean, it isn't going to win any awards for groundbreaking ideas, but it was a movie that I made it through in one sitting. With my attention span, that's saying something. I've seen reviews saying ageist. I don't see it. There's a guy who sees an opportunity for making money from people pawning off a group of people who are typically seen as incapable or in the way. But a heartwarming tale ensues with good amount of head trauma. Basically, a coming-of-age movie for an adult. Makes sense. I mean, that's a good review, actually. So, yeah, there's not really... Yeah, of the 6 reviews I was able to find on here, there's not really that good of reviews. So, yeah, that's what we got for the reviews here.
But yeah, you had like 10 out of 10s for Tooth Fairy 2.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. Okay.
Yeah, well,
Dennis
I mean...
the Menace Christmas or whatever.
Yeah, but those movies have been out a little longer, too. So, I mean, give people time to watch the movie. You know, I'm sure there's going to be some, better reviews and stuff coming up. Like the one I'm going to write right after this.
Yeah, man.
No, I'm not. No. I don't really feel like doing that.
Yeah.
I got better things to do with my time.
Yeah, exactly.
Like sleep.
Yeah.
Anyways.
You gotta sleep right after I leave?
No.
Okay, that's what I figured. We usually talk to each other after.
Yeah. Anyway, so,
yeah. It's funny when you get older, it's like sleepovers are like no longer like really cool anymore. But like what happens is like okay, I gotta leave now and go chill out at house. But then we just start messaging each other anyway. It's like you know what, I need to like relax on my own couch.
Oh yeah.
Your couch isn't good enough. I need to go home and drive to my own house and then lay on my own couch and then just message you.
That's how it works. Okay, so interesting thing, Matt. You know this, and I think it's something we should share with our fans. We have, which I hope you have liked, a Facebook fan page for All Too Real 2. The other day, we got a message from somebody on there. I mean, we get messages on there from time to time, but usually from somebody suggesting something for us to watch or somebody telling us they want to be on the show or something like that. This guy just says, hello. This guy's, I won't say his name just because legal reasons. Anyways, I say, hi. And then he says, how are you? Starting out normal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm like, good. His next thing is, you have podcast.
Yeah.
And then we say, yes, this is the page for it. Then he says, I am a professional podcast promoter. Do you want any service for your podcast? And we respond, we do not have a large budget now to afford that. And then he says, how much do you have budget? And we say $3.49 US dollars.
That was me.
Yeah, that was Matt saying. And then he says, par day? Instead of per day, he says par day.
Yeah.
And then Matt responded with total, I'm afraid. And then he says, you have Fiverr? Which is a website where you can hire people to do tasks and stuff. And we respond with no. Why? We do have a Fiverr, but that's neither here nor there. Anyway, at least I do. Anyways, and then he says, if you work with me, I will give you money, subscribe, reviews, rating, download, and top rank on iTunes store. We said, how? And he says, I will share your podcast on social media. You will get many listener. You can give me per month $200. And I just want to mention something here when the social media thing comes up. I checked out this guy's page at that point. He had 126 friends.
I have more friends than that.
Yeah.
I have 144, and that's kind of low for Facebook or whatever, you know.
And I'm not bragging or anything, but I have 3,500 friends.
Right.
I could get more people to listen to my podcast just by emailing like a quarter of them.
Right. And secondly, I already mentioned we only have total $3.49.
Yes.
Not a month.
No.
Total. And he's like,
could you give us $200 a month?
Okay, so that's over $2,000 a year. Okay, that's different than $3.49. Okay.
And so then
Someone failed math class.
Then we're like, we do not have that. And then he's like, how much you can give me? And we said $3.49. USD.
Yeah, I made sure to say USD. Yeah.
And then he just randomly said the word yes.
Like he's acknowledged. Wow, that was a nice voice crack there. Like he was acknowledging that, or
we don't know what.
Or was he agreeing to that? Like he just went down from $200 to $3.49.
So in one of the proudest moments of my life, I just said to him, they are a great band. Talking about the band Yes.
Yeah.
And he just says, you can give me? And I said, a link to Yes Music? And he said, okay. And then he said, please let me know you can give me payment. And then I shared with him the music video for Owner of a Lonely Heart by Yes. Which is the proudest moment of my whole life.
Yeah.
Yes. Anything I've ever done, movies I've accomplished, you know.
That's
charity I've done, good things I've done for people.
That all eclipse all
yes,
stuff. Yeah.
Just this. And then he said, after I sent him that, if you want, I will promote your YouTube channel, and I posted. Don't know what that meant. And I was like, we don't have a YouTube channel to share. I mean, Cullen Park does have a YouTube channel, but he didn't need to know that, and that wasn't where that video came from. And then he's like, you can give me payment? And I was like, for? ? He's like, I will promote your podcast. And I was like, how exactly?
He just went back to...
He says, what do you want? Any services do you want? And then I said, to know how you would promote us. Also, do you have any customer testimonials? And he said, sure, I have testimonial. If you check my Fiverr account, you can see that. I will promoter your podcast by iTunes. Subscribe, review, rating, download. I was like, do you have a resume? And he shares 2 random pictures of what looks like the front page of some podcast app with like their top 10 podcasts or something.
So he's saying that he like launched those podcasts. And
That's what I took from it.
A guy, man, he's got 126 friends. Maybe he just lays low, you know. Maybe we screwed up here, you know.
Uh-huh. And then he says, and I said to him, I said, do you work with these podcasts? And he says, yes.
Oh, okay.
If you want, I will give you same service. And I said, the first one I saw on there was a financial podcast hosted by Susie Orman, who is like, you know, an internationally known financial expert.
Yeah.
Who has like a show on cable and stuff.
I doubt she needs his help.
Yeah, that's what I'm going with. Yeah. Anyways, and I said, so if we contacted Susie Orman, she would know who you are then? ? And then he's ignoring my question.
Of course.
And he says, if you want, I sent you my Bayer, Bayer. I don't know if he's talking about like Bayer aspirin or
Right,
something
okay.
or what. I don't know. Facebook account. And I'm like, okay.
Maybe means buyer?
Yeah, probably. That's probably what he meant. And he sent me some random guy's Facebook account who happened to, I looked at the guy's account, happened to supposedly, he does have a podcast and everything, and he supposedly went to a couple of high schools in the Toledo area. I'm not going to mention the guy's name or anything like that out of fear of litigation. So, just letting you know that if you know, that's it. Okay. Anyways, so I just said to him, Bayer? With a question mark.
He should have had like a picture of like Bayer aspirin.
I thought about it, but I didn't get it in time before he started answering. And then he said, please contact him and asked about me. I did work with him last month. There have music podcast. And then he mentions the guy's name and says, is my clients. I'm pretty sure he's only one person, but he's somehow clients.
Well, he's obviously English is like a second language.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give him that, or he's using some kind of bad translator.
Maybe, yeah, that too.
And I said, what about all the people in the pics you shared above? The pics of the that's what I said to him of those that podcast thing with Susie Orman and all that stuff. Yeah. Anyways, so he said, just I tell you only about that guy that you just mentioned. He said he is my clients. And
so the dude from Toledo is his client.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say his name either.
No. But. And then I said, but you said you worked with the podcasts in the photos you sent. And then he says, yes. And then he says, just I sent you sample about my work.
You should have sent another song from Yes.
And then I said, then I should be able to contact those people and they will know you, correct? And then he's ignoring that again.
Exactly.
And he says, he live in USA, so please, you can contact him after 6 hours. Because this was pretty late at night, so I'm thinking.
6 hours? What? Okay. Like he has a time limit, like after 6 hours. Okay.
And I said, not an answer to my question. And he says, yes, you can know all. And then I said, still avoiding the question.
No, also was is he like offering godhood now?
I don't know. I guess so. I can know all. I can be.
You should have took him up and they're like, okay, give me the power to know all.
I should have asked him what the meaning of life was or something. Anyways, and then he says, and I said, still avoiding the question I asked, and he says, which question? Please let me know.
Oh God.
And I said, the questions about the podcast in the photos you shared, do you work with them? And if so, can I contact them? then he shares with me some random photo from the Apple Podcast app where it shows that guy that he was talking about his podcast and that it has a 5-star rating.
Okay.
But it only had like 43 ratings, which were probably all fake anyways.
Yeah.
So that's how he probably gets the 5-star ratings.
So all he does, basically what he does, okay, I know what happened. So
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm clearing my throat. I have some issues right now. But what happened was, because I did this once with Facebook. I paid like $35 for my music page on Facebook to get promoted.
Yeah.
And I got like 500 likes on my page in like a period of like 10 days. And I noticed though, like almost all of them were from Brazil.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that,
And then some of them probably fell off too after a while. Or,
I think so.
Or inactive accounts. Or
I'm not saying that people from Brazil don't like rock music, because Brazil actually is one of the biggest countries for metal music.
But it's just suspicious when they're all from the same country, regardless of the country.
Exactly, because I was able to actually specify what countries I wanted to target. Brazil was one of the countries.
Yeah.
But so was the United States. So was Germany, because Germany also has like a pretty thriving metal and rock scene. And as does Japan. So I listed Japan. I was basically listing countries where people like that type of music.
Yeah.
And so those are like the 4 main ones. Okay. But like 95% all came from Brazil. I got like 1 dude from Germany, no one from Japan, like 2 people from the United States, but everyone else came from Brazil. And I did some research digging around, and it turns out Brazil is one of, and not just Brazil, but Latin America in general, is one of the biggest areas where they have, quote, like farms, which are basically just fake profiles that people create to then promote.
That's what like a lot of Fiverr is too. I mean, I've come across that. And then anyways, we sent that picture, and he said, "This podcast is this podcast is this client podcast. You can contact him." So I said, "So you have only one client. Why did you share the other photos?" And that's when he said, "Please stop massaging me." Not messaging him. No, actually, it was, "Please stop massage me."
Yeah, it's even better. I like it like that.
Yeah, "Please stop massage me." Not massaging, but massage me.
We're going to make that into a t-shirt.
Yeah, so "Please stop massage me" is going to be a t-shirt that we will release sometime soon.
We're working on the Mateo Kills the Crow.
Yeah, we're still working on that one. I'm trying to figure out the photos for that.
Right.
That's for our other podcast.
So
but,
we got some really cool some t-shirts here for you guys.
And then I was like, "Okay, no problem. Pretty sure you're a scammer." And then I said, "I never massaged you, by the way. I messaged you." And then his account disappeared.
Yeah.
I had reported it to Facebook as well, so I think that's why it disappeared. So,
he must have been doing that to a lot of people, though.
Yeah.
For one report, he must have been getting a lot of.
Yeah, because Facebook sucks at their thing anyway. So, yeah, and I did try to report the other profile of the guy that supposedly lives in Toledo because he's somehow working with him, but Facebook says that it doesn't violate any of their standards. So,
so the dude from Toledo, he's not just like some dude, like he
could be a legit person, but my thing is he told me to message him. I never did.
Right.
I'm just afraid if I message him, then. But I probably should have messaged him and warned him about this guy, but I don't know.
No, your first suspicion was probably correct. He's probably
working with him.
Another profile of him.
I listened to his podcast.
Oh,
and
yeah?
It didn't have that great a production quality, but it wasn't bad. But he was supposedly a sound engineer, and yet it didn't have that great a sound. So I was kind of confused by that.
Maybe he just didn't have good equipment or something.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. But anyways, so that's our little story, folks. Look out for "Please Stop Massage Me" t-shirts coming soon to our TeePublic store. And remember, anything you buy there helps support this show and all of our other shows.
Yeah.
And any future projects we decide to create for the podcast network or our films, which we are hoping to have some good ones coming up very soon. We're bringing on some producers and stuff for that. And if you are interested, also check out our Patreon, because we might have some cool deals on there coming up soon. And we would love to work with you on podcasts or movies, and you can help support us and, get your name in the credits or something, or, whatever that. We'll thank you on the show, and, we'll do backflips.
I can't do a backflip.
Neither can I, but we'll do them.
Well, I'll probably land on my back and hurt it real bad.
See, we're willing to hurt our backs for you folks.
Yeah. I couldn't even do a backflip on a trampoline. I could do a front flip, but the back flip, I had like this psychological thing. I just couldn't force myself to do it. So
I mean, I jumped off the roof of a garage onto a mattress once and almost broke my neck.
Oh, wow.
So I really don't like jumping, period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why did you do that?
Well, my cousins were up from Florida, and they're older than me. And they decided to pull the mattress out of their dad's guest bedroom and put it out in the backyard, and the garage roof was there, and they put a cape on me, and if I remember correctly, which was like just a blanket tied around my neck, and they wanted to do it, but I think I was the guinea pig, if I remember correctly, and I jumped, and I bounced off of it onto the ground, and I had to wear a neck brace for a little bit.
Wow.
Yeah. Thanks, cousins. Yeah. Good times. That was about as fun as the time I got hit in the face with a steel bat when we were playing t-ball in the backyard of my other friend's house. I had some good childhood memories, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the time anytime I tried to do anything active, I would hurt myself. I fell off my bike a few times, right into like big gravel pits,
that hurts.
and scraped myself up. I decided to try to play t-ball when I was like 5 or 6 years old, and I got chickenpox the next week, and I couldn't play the rest of the season.
Oh, it sucks.
So yeah, that should have been my first warning, that I'm never allowed to do anything athletic, sports or anything, that is physical.
Which is interesting because your dad was like actually like really like into sports.
He was really
younger.
good.
Yeah.
he was a coach of softball and baseball teams and different things like that, and I think basketball teams and stuff like that. He was really good at multiple sports, and yeah.
You just didn't get that gene.
No.
You know what sucks though? You talked about like falling off your bike and stuff, and that hurts. But have you ever like run into like a telephone pole and like that weird vibration feeling when you run into something?
Oh yeah.
Like that's like almost as bad as like scrape. Well, maybe not as bad, but it's a really weird sensation when you like run into something and you just like almost like that weird impact, because you're like, it's just like this weird vibration thing that goes on, like especially on your hands, on the handlebars.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's
ugh. I think the worst thing I ever had happen was actually when I was in college, and I was working at a video store, and I was taking a bus there, and I was hanging out on the college campus, and I had to go catch the bus. And the transportation center was on the other side of a railroad track, and I see the bus coming, so I'm running, and I trip on the railroad track, right into this big, the big pile of rocks. Scrape up both of my arms because I tried to brace myself. And so I get over there, and the bus is sitting there, and I'm like, oh, okay. And it's not my bus. I thought my bus was running early, but it was actually the bus that comes before my bus.
So it was all for nothing.
Yeah. And so then I go into the restroom of the transportation center, and I'm wiping off my arms that are bleeding all over the place. And then I'm wrapping them up in paper towels, and the bus gets there, and I get on the bus looking like I just, died. And then, then I get to work, and luckily we had a first aid kit, and I wrapped up my arms, and that was fun. So, yeah, that's why I don't run. I mean, I'm supposed to run in this movie that I'm acting in soon, and for a scene, I may have to ask for my pay to be doubled. Just for that scene.
Just to run, yeah.
Yeah. I'm doing the movie for free, by the way. But anyways, so...
Paid double, okay.
Yeah. I'm just joking.
It's kind of like when your dad said, like, tell him I'm gonna give Matt double what I gave him for Christmas last year.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait a minute, he didn't give me anything last year.
So anyways, we're getting over an hour here, so we should probably cut it now. So just to let you know, you can continue to message me, people, but please stop massage me.
Yeah.
Please stop massage me. That is all. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to All Too Real 2 podcast, a Cullen Park production. Produced and edited by Michael E. Cullen II. Music by Matthew Haas. Subscribe and share the show. Visit us at cullenpark.com.